Joe Zikas from NewHomeNotebook. I'm sitting here with Matt Garrison, who's the managing director.
Yeah, managing director works.
Coldwell maker Matt Garrison Group.
Yes.
And Matt is one of those people in the trade they call a super agent. He probably wouldn't give himself that title, but I think a lot of other people do. Matt, we want to talk about the market, although we probably don't want to talk too much about the market because everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
More along the lines of how should people be navigating through this market. Tough market for sellers. Market times have lengthened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buyers are arrogant and surly, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Marching around, giving orders, making demands.
Yeah.
What should sellers be doing?
You know, the biggest mistake that sellers make in any market, but particularly right now, is not pricing their property correctly. But the good news is there's still buyers out there. I think some people might be surprised to hear that, but there are still buyers running around in this market that want to buy homes and condos, and there's traffic. It's not like there's no traffic, but if your property's not priced correctly, it's not going to sell. And I mean, you look at like a sub-market, like a Roscoe Village or something like that, with mid-market $800,000 to $1 million homes. There's 20 or 30 of them on the market. Only 5 are going to sell in the foreseeable future, in the next 3 or 4 months probably. Those are going to be the ones that are properly priced. So if you're not going to price it right, it's probably not going to sell right now.
If I don't price it right and it doesn't sell, what should I be looking at doing? Should I just ride it out, put my place up for rent?
Well, I mean, it depends if you have to sell or not. There's people who have to sell and there's people who don't have to sell. If you have to sell, then you have to price the property correctly and work with someone to market it properly, and it's probably going to sell. If you can't do that for some reason, then yeah, you have to look at alternatives, rental, whatever. Or if you're someone who does not have to sell, then you don't sell. And I think there's a lot of that going on right now.
Let's assume I'm $200,000 underwater on my loan on my $1.2 million house.
Mm-hmm.
How are the banks working these days?
I mean, if it's someone that's in a legitimately bad situation, you can get into a short sale scenario. If it's someone who can afford to pay them back, that's probably not going to fly. And you bring a check to the closing. We've seen both things happen. And a lot of people that are in situations like that don't move and wait and hope the prices will recover, which I think they will.
Are the lenders getting more realistic on short sales?
Yeah, we're not specialists in that market, by any means, but we do encounter it, and from what we've seen, they're getting more reasonable than they were a year ago, for sure.
I've also heard that the buyers are exceedingly picky about the kind of product they're looking at these days. Should a seller look at freshening up his home?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think you got to give yourself every chance to succeed. So if it comes down to getting rid of clutter or putting a fresh coat of paint or
How far would you go on that? Would you go as far as changing countertops or cabinets?
There's different schools of thought on that. I always maybe it's from my development background, but I always think that you gotta make sure you're going to get a return on something before you spend a substantial amount of money on it. So I look to the kind of sweat equity kind of stuff, coats of paint, stuff like that. When it comes to redoing bathrooms and redoing kitchens right now, just for the sake of selling, if you're not going to use it, I tend to advise people not to do that. There's other realtors who might disagree with me on that, but that's kind of where I come from.
What about offering extra compensation to real estate brokers? And does that help? Does that move the needle?
We don't think it hurts, but we've never found that it helps that much. But I mean, I guess
it helps the real estate brokers, doesn't it?
I guess it helps the real estate brokers. If I'm working with a buyer, I try and sell them whatever makes the most sense for them. But I guess a listing may get extra looks if it's got bigger compensation on there.